Welcome
Max, welcome to
to
our
our
podcast.
our very first episode of Work in Progress, or actually our second, but the first one failed dramatically.
Yes, yeah,
I'm so happy we're doing this. I think it's for both of us a bit out of our comfort zone, and I think
yeah.
for all our viewers, welcome. We're Dutch, so we might speak with a bit of an accent. We try to dub it with AI, but we lose all the giggles and it just makes the conversation very boring. So we decided to redo it and go full English this time.
Yes, indeed. There is one big advantage because we translated everything in English. I'm now doing English accent classes because the AI translation was so good that I needed to step up my game. So
So over the course of the next few episodes,
yes.
Eveline will drastically improve her English and I'll be just shitty all the time.
What are we going to talk about today?
Yeah, we've talked about why we want to do this podcast because I believe we're both not really doing it because we necessarily want an audience, but we do feel there's a need for a bigger discussion about AI that's less technical or less apocalyptic. There is this huge new technology and our worlds are gonna change. And I think a lot of people, if they try to listen to podcasts or they read articles, they sort of get lost quite soon and give up. And I think for both of us, it's something that we want to make it just more accessible for people to have and join this conversation.
And also we talk about it a lot, we read about it a lot, and yeah, maybe it helps someone to join or listen to this conversation. And if it's only just one person, that's already a big win.
Yeah. So, where do we start? Welcome to AI, the hectic, ever-changing world of AI. I think, let me start with asking you, why do you think it's important to gain knowledge about AI and to learn what it is and how it influences us?
The first time I was hearing about AI, I just thought it was a nice tool, and I still think it's a nice tool. But the more and more I learn about it, the more I see it's going to be a really big shift in society, and not only for professional life, but also just being alive. And I think that's one of the main reasons why it's important to learn more about AI, is to be able to know what it is and also really understand it, and to together have a discussion about it and how it's going to influence our daily life. So I think that's the main reason. And the other reason is that it's also a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun, and it can help you a lot in your work, but also outside of your work, just for more inspiration. So I think there are a lot of benefits, and also a lot of maybe risks, or big changes that are coming. So that's why I think we all should learn more about it.
Yeah.
And you?
My experience is the same, and I think it's also a way of protection as well. So there are so much changes coming, and I don't think anybody knows the exact answers to it, but being informed and understanding what those changes might be, I think are super important to prepare yourself and to not be swept away when it's just happening, but to have an influence on how you interact with it, and also that you see it coming and that you can anticipate on it a bit more. I think it's going to change. It's going to change so much in our society. It's going to change educational systems. It's going to change political systems. It's challenging our democracy. It's challenging how we use data. It's going to change how we take care of people. And I think these are such fundamental changes to who we are as people in society that I think it's literally relevant to everybody to at least learn about it. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't surprise you so
about
much.
it. I think that's really important indeed, about to anticipate now instead of in 2 years, when then it almost becomes a sort of basic thing. Then you need to have a basic knowledge about AI, and everyone assumes you have it. And now we are still sort of in the beginning, so you can still learn with it and play with it without having the rush of, okay, now I need to know it. Like, do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's the a lot of people now say I don't use AI, or I don't want to use AI, or
Yeah,
I'm never going to use AI. And I think in
yeah,
already 2 to 3 years, that's like showing up at the job application and saying,
yeah,
I am very skilled, but I don't work with the internet.
yeah,
You're just not
yeah,
going to get the job. And I think
yeah,
AI really fast is taking over that sort of new skill level that is just a general ask. It's not everybody works with the internet. Either it's email or it's Google or it's just internet is used by, well, let's say almost everyone. And I think it's going to be the exact same for AI, but people are still hesitant to use it the same way they were hesitant to use the internet. And I feel in order to protect yourself, it's better to embrace it and be part of the conversation of what it means to use it and how to use it, and what, as a society, how we should use it, but not to just say, I refuse it, because it's
yeah.
not going anywhere. It's already
No.
implemented and rooted so deeply in our systems. It's just not going to go away. There's too much
Yeah.
money involved. There's too much power involved. It's going to influence
Yeah.
our lives.
And I can understand that you say, I refuse to use it because it doesn't make me authentic, or everything is based, the whole data set is based on other people's work. So why should I ever use it? And that's a fair question. But then still, because it's going to have such a big impact on society, I think that should be your main reason to start understanding AI.
It was so interesting because I was listening to a podcast of Sinead Bovell, who we both really, really love.
Oh,
And
yeah.
she was saying it was about the healthcare system. And we live in a society where we're very privileged with our healthcare system. There's
Yes.
healthcare for
Yeah.
everyone. It's very affordable. And they were talking about the healthcare system in America and how once AI is taking over jobs and once it's going to impact the economy, it's also going to have a big, big impact on the healthcare system. And she said something that's stuck with me because I thought it was interesting. She said, well, it's not just the CEOs and the people, the shareholders of the AI companies that should benefit from it. It's trained on all of our data. So it's actually a product of all of us. So everybody should benefit from it. And I'm a bit skeptical on if people are going to be fairly compensated for it individually, but then
Yeah.
at least it should be compensated societally.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
I just thought it
And
was so interesting to look at it as something that's built on all of us.
yeah. Yeah.
And therefore, its qualities are so good because everybody's data is in there, and therefore it should benefit society. And it
Everyone.
was such
Yeah.
a different way for me because I just sort of looked at the commercial side of it. Okay, there's these powerful people at the top, and they make the rules, but their product wouldn't be as good without all of us.
Yeah. And what do you think about when people are using AI and the people who don't use AI? What that's going to be like the difference in the levels, if that
Yeah.
matters or not?
Well, I think it does matter. If I look at what I did in the past 6 months, according to the 6 years before, it's just incredible how much more efficient and how much more creative and fun it's been to do my job, because a lot of the things that are really time consuming and very boring, I have now optimized with AI. And let's be honest, it doesn't work 100%, but let's say
No.
it works between 50 and 75%. If it does 50% of the boring tasks and jobs, that's amazing. And I would say now optimizing that progress, it's even more. It's getting to 80%. And so I've been experiencing the technology so far as a lot of fun, because it really helped me. It helped me. I had a vision. I knew what I wanted and how to build it. But due to AI, I was able to do it in a way more efficient way. And I think the challenge is going to be how we train ourselves to remain good at critical thinking. It's very easy to prompt an AI to get a result and just think, okay, whatever, instead of, is this good enough? Is this who I am? What should I tweak about it? How can I make it better? And I think that's a challenge that we're going to face in the next couple of years. Is I hope we don't lose that critical thinking. And also, if we talk about youth, we have to learn them how to critical think. But
and it's so easy to take all the answers and just copy paste it. Like, there's so much sort of comfort in it. I think as humans, we always go for the option that's most comfortable, but you have to train yourself to keep thinking. That's the most important step.
And also to optimize, to really challenge yourself to make it better, and in all honesty, it's something you help me with a lot, because you're really good at, but is it good enough? So I'm also of a character where I just go a bit of this and a bit of this, where you go, okay, great, but now let's review again, and then we make a lot of tweaks. So it's, for me also, you're a big help in critical thinking, but I'm realizing that it's very easy for me to prompt something, to get something that looks like it's great, because often when you read it, you go, but then you have to go to the next
step. How do you know me so well?
Exactly. But you have to make that next step where you go, but what is it you're actually saying? Very often you have to sort of go deeper into what the output is and take away what's shallow but what sounds great. I think that's a thing we all know, when you get an email where you just go, really, you didn't even try to make it sound less GPT? I think AI is a wonderful tool. It helps me so much, but I'm now in the mini era where I really try to train myself to optimize my quality, to go beyond the superficial answer.
For yourself, actually, more.
And to become more skilled in how to tweak it. And I think, to answer your question, I think that's gonna be where the skill level is gonna be different for people. It's a process. If I look at how I work with AI now compared to 6 months ago, not only the systems changed, but also my understanding of these systems changed. And I think that's why, for me, it's so relevant that people wake up and embrace it in a way, because then you can grow with it, and you can understand the evolution of it and be a part of it, because it's inevitable that it's going to be part of our society in the way the internet is, but way bigger. The intelligence of these systems are just something I can't comprehend. So it's, I think, therefore so important to challenge yourself to learn it, even if you're against it, or I would say especially if you're against it. Learn AI so you can have an outspoken opinion about it, and you can be a voice in the debate. That debate is going to be so important. But we can't have the same social media dilemma where we see it coming and people are saying this is going to happen to our kids and this is going to happen to addiction and cyberbullying, and we just ignore it until it happens and then look back and go, oh, there were actually quite a few people warning us, but we just didn't care. And I think AI is way more powerful than social media, and so it has real threats.
And one of the main reasons why AI is more powerful is because it learns from itself. It learns from the data we give it, and then it's going to learn from itself, and that's the reason why it's so powerful, even more powerful than the internet. Do you ever have fears What
Yeah.
keeps you up at nights regarding AI?
I have a young daughter and almost I'm pregnant with my second child, and the how they are gonna enter this world now. They're so innocent, and screens and technology don't play a part in their lives yet, but I'm seeing how much it's influencing my life, and it scares me to, yeah, I don't know. I can't envision the world they're gonna live in. And I know that's always been the case, but it feels so much bigger now. How are they gonna learn? Is the educational system gonna change?
Jobs.
How will society look like?
Yeah.
I feel like if I dive deep in AI, I don't want to make too technical or vague, because I want this really to be an accessible conversation. But if I look at all the potential different scenarios, there are a couple scenarios where you just go, but then our systems don't work anymore. And if our systems don't work, we have to create new systems. But how do we get there? And that keeps me up at night. I don't have the answers, and it terrifies me that no one has the answers. Even the people who are really developing the technology don't have the answers. They only say, we can't even understand how powerful these systems are.
Yeah.
And you go, but you should.
It almost sometimes feels as if those companies like OpenAI, who owns ChatGPT, or Anthropic, who owns Claude, as if they are like, there's such a big competition going on also between the US and China, that almost feels like the main reason, like who is going to win, who is going to have this super intelligence, the first. And what scares me is that the competition is almost more important than having together as a society have rules around AI, and like sort of steps and how-tos, and how are we going to learn with AI, and how are we going to evolve with AI together. And that's really scares me. Petition is more, and I also understand it sort of, but yeah, it feels like decisions are being made, and if we will look back at it in our history books, like that, we really don't understand why these big decisions has been made so quickly and only with a really small group of people. Such a small group of people.
And so what kind of decisions do you mean when you say decisions are being made?
With the war that's now going on, like how are they using AI in a sort of ethical way? I think the main thing is ethics and AI. That's the main thing for me. That they use it in an ethical way.
Yeah, and maybe also the fact that there's not really a conversation about it, but that it's just happening.
Not at all. Yeah.
And there's this really interesting discussion about how they use it in warfare. And Anthropic, if you don't know Anthropic, it's the company behind Claude, and they profile themselves more as the most ethical AI in the industry. And there's such an interesting conversation going on about what his point, I think, is the point he's trying to make, is that he doesn't understand how powerful his system is. And so if he doesn't understand, then governments and all other people, like as a CEO of the company who invented it, and he can sort of foresee, I mean, I think he knows more than he can say out loud, but he's really warning for the power of the tools. And so the government, which I also understand, says, well, you can't have a company dictate how you use tools in the military, which I also get. In a democracy, it's the government that decides.
Yeah.
But the tools are so new. It feels like the nuclear weapons. And so the company is trying to take responsibility for that powerful thing that they created. The government says, well, we shouldn't have our military and our strategic choices be decided by a company. We are the government, we decide. But then you come to the question of, yeah, but if all these choices are being made, and who's really thinking it through? That's my long term.
Yeah. Who is thinking this through?
Who's
Is anyone
thinking this
thinking this through? Yeah.
And I mean, there's so many intelligent people that are dealing with this
Hopefully
topic
are.
every day, but it
Yeah.
just feels too rushed. And I'm also trying to pivot into something more positive because I want to
Yes.
inspire
Yeah.
people
Heal
to
the world.
and exactly. But it feels like such a big moment. I think that's what we talk about all the time. It feels like such a big moment, and at the same time, because it's so big, it can numb you, and it can make you go, okay, I have no influence on it, so whatever. But I think the opposite is true. I think the more people know and understand about it, and the more we're outspoken about how it should take part in our society, the more we can create change. I do believe we are
As a
part
collective.
of 100%.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's also what I hope for people, that they go, oh, this is really gonna impact my life very short term, and not just mine, my parents, my kids, my families, my friends. Everybody is going to be impacted heavily in the next 1 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Also with jobs.
well, I think we're in a challenging time when it comes to jobs. I don't think they're all gonna disappear all of a sudden, but I do think they're gonna change, and part of your job is gonna be interacting with systems that do a lot of work for you.
Yeah, and one of the main reasons it's going to change so much is because of agentic AI.
Yeah.
That's going to become bigger and bigger.
Well, maybe can you briefly explain what agentic AI means? I think there's a lot of people that are so new relatively to the topic that agentic AI just is fake.
Yeah, okay, so agentic AI, you could almost see it as agents, separate agents that are super intelligent and can think for themselves, but also can act for themselves. So you can create a team of agents, and let's say one of them does your research for your project. The other one is linked to your research, but already starts with a budget on your project. And then the other one is also linked on the budget, but and on the research, and is going to start making visuals for it already. So you have this whole orchestra of, or we can create a whole orchestra of agents, and we're now at the very, very beginning of it. But I can see this going in 1 or 2 years that we will, or 3, we will all have an agentic team working with the agentic team who already sees what's coming, acts on it, and does things that we as humans need maybe a week for it to prepare, and they do it in 1 day or 4 hours. So that's agentic AI. But it can also be in your personal life. So
Let's make it super accessible for
yes.
almost everyone. Say I am a mom. And I want to have a date night because it's hard to date when you have kids that are really young. And I remember this example you gave of where you try to build, where an agent is linked to your calendar. And when it sees that you're planning a date night, that it would automatically reach out to your 3 favorite babysitters, asking if they would have time to babysit. And if they answer, analyzes the answers and put them straight into your calendar. So I only give my agent the task of putting in my calendar that I'm going on date night, and based on that one decision that I made, it's going to make sub decisions by itself. Put it in motion, analyze
Yeah.
the feedback, and then communicate it back to me.
Yeah. It can
Or
even go further. Like I don't type anymore on my computer and my phone, so I just talk to my first agent, and I can say, I want to go to this theater play on Wednesday. It books the tickets. I'm going with my husband. It arranged a babysitter, and it's in the evening, so it already buys food for my babysitter and my baby. And the only thing I did is just talk to my phone.
yeah.
So yeah, very soon I think this will be very normal for everyone. We are not going to make any reservations anymore in restaurants.
That's
Tickets.
such a big change, right?
A big
That's
change,
strange.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's for your personal life, but also for work. So it means it can do all the things you don't like, all the boring stuff. You can make an agent for it to do it for you. But there are also many other things that you are really good at, or you really need to wrap your head around it to deliver a really great outcome. So it doesn't mean that AI is going to take over every step. You still need to think, and there are still many steps in your work that you, if you really love it, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because that also adds your signature to it. But there will also be steps that AI can do. And I think it's going to be much more of an working together with AI. And that's why we need to start learning more about AI, because of this cooperation
Yeah.
that is going to become bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And if I would advise a mindset to have for this year, is just to be very curious, but also ask yourself, like, okay, what if AI can do this step, for example, do my make budgets or do the financial part of it? Like, what can I become, and how can I become better as a person while AI is doing stuff that I'm not very good at? So it's also like, be curious and also see it on the sort of positive side. Yeah, that it also helps you step up your game, and you can have a lot of fun with it too.
So, to sum it up, be prepared and get your mindset ready
Yeah.
for this evolution that AI is, both for the good and the bad. And get
Yeah.
the knowledge so you know how it's going to affect your world. And you can prepare yourself for what's coming.
Dissipate, yeah, what you
And
said.
also to use that knowledge and to use everything that you're learning to use it for good. Because
Have fun
we
with
also
it.
love
Yeah,
AI.
play with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
play with it.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the most dual technology that scares me, but also really inspires me.
yeah, one very funny example, one more about agentic AI, is I heard someone that made a workflow. He didn't like to dress himself, so he always had a lot of bad choices with clothes. And then at one point he decided to use AI, and he made an AI. He wakes up with his phone, then he gets the weather forecast, and he made an agentic AI workflow with a personal stylist. So he took photos of his whole closet. He made sure there were good combinations, and then he had first an AI agent that looked up the weather, and then based on the weather, it gave every day 4 options what to wear. And I think that's a very, very funny thing, how you can also use it in your daily life.
This would save my life. Then I would look so well dressed. You always show up so beautiful and so thought through, and I just show up in clothes. I think this would help me greatly to level with your sense of style.
No. A personal stylist. Yeah,
Well,
so
I
you can
can
also
imagine-
be very creative with it. I love that.
But what I'm envisioning is, okay, what takes a lot of time in my life that saves me money in the end is every Sunday I make a weekly menu with the things. So I look up our calendars and I see who's eating at home what night. And then I make a weekly menu. And then based on the menu, I order the groceries. Yeah, I know, but I don't follow standard recipes, or I don't have it written down. So I go, okay, I want to eat this, but then I do have to think about all the ingredients that are in this recipe. So ideally, I would write down my 20, 30 favorite recipes that I very often make. I build an AI agent and I use the ingredients, and then it can say, this could be your weekly menu based on my own preferences. And it could analyze the products I need, and it could put it in my online supermarket, and it could choose the delivery time based on my calendar.
What a
right?
Yeah,
That's something I could build.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep you guys up to date on how my supermarket weekly menu builder is gonna go, because this is gonna save me time. I think we have to wrap it up. Otherwise, we're going to go over time, and we're going to keep these conversations short and focused, but chaotic.
Well, thank you for this conversation.
It was fun, and I'm really happy we're doing this, although it's terrifying to both of us. I think for our listeners or viewers, thank you for listening. We hope you'll be back next week. If you have certain topics or questions, also let us know, because we're very keen on taking them into the conversation. And let's just see where this goes. Let's
see you next
have
week.
AI make a jingle.
We need a jingle.
We need a jingle. I see you next week.
I see you on the flip side.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.